Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Poplar Report. We've got some major updates we need to cover this morning. We got a lot of Watchmen updates from all over, but we also have a big question out there. Is President Trump about to order airstrikes against Mexico? U.S. nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, USS Nimitz, has just moved on to station off the coast of Mexico. We got that. We're going to be talking about a major egg update that you need to be aware of. I know a lot of you guys are watching the egg on the store shelves and everything. And we have a hospital bed shortage developing. This is a big one. I haven't heard this on any of the mainstream media anywhere else. You're getting this in exclusive. Hospital bed shortage in at least 3 states. There's a flu going around and people are being turned away. We also have USAID. Partially shut down, I guess, but a lot is coming out about what they've done and what some of the craziness that's gone on over there. They were caught giving tens of millions of dollars to Politico. Yes, the news organization. News, I use that in quotes. We also have the fact that they were not the only government caught doing so. We got that, plus, like I said, a lot of Watchmen updates from all over it. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. Please do keep them coming, and make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. And you are appreciated by this community, making a difference in the world. And we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They make it possible for people to move their retirement accounts. If you have an IRA, a 401k, or something similar like up in Canada, you can move that over to physical metals. If you want to get invested in gold, silver, or platinum, you want to find out more, there'll be a link at the end of the video to get more information. All right, friends, I've been giving you bad news after bad news after bad news on the egg front, and it's not slowing down just yet. 1.3 million egg layers have been culled. So a lot less chickens out there laying a lot less eggs. We're past 160 million birds put down in the last several years. And yeah, it's showing up on store shelves at your store, at everyone else's stores. And the panic is setting in. People are grabbing them when they see them available. People are seeing some pretty high prices, and they're still grabbing them anyway. And it's driving the prices even further up. Hopefully you guys are already stocked up. Hopefully you've gotten some birds in the backyard that can lay your own eggs. But just be aware, it's probably going to still keep moving upwards for the near future. All right, big news out there. We just covered that just the other day, that we had a U.S. Air Force surveillance aircraft, major surveillance aircraft off the coast of Mexico. Very suspicious. First time one of those has been up over Mexico ever. And now we have a U.S. nuclear-powered aircraft carrier showing up in the vicinity. Surveillance, surveilling an area where cartels and other criminal elements basically run Baja California. That's the little part that sticks down in Mexico, right? That thing is a known haven for cartels and drug lords, and we just put up a surveillance aircraft around it. And then a U.S. aircraft carrier shows up. It looks like we may be doing strikes, or we may be inserting special operations. When Defense Secretary Hegseth was asked about potential of using special operations soldiers inside Mexico, he said all options are on the table. And that makes it sound like not just special operations, but other options like airstrikes potentially or anything like that. This could spiral very, very quickly. I imagine that this has already been discussed with Mexico. We're probably not going to see like a war start over this. Remember, the Mexican government is the one suffering the most from these cartels. People of Mexico suffer under these criminal gangs. The violence that they suffer under these groups is so much more than Americans can even understand. So they're not fans of these cartels. Okay, so if the United States were to go in there and do something, they would probably get the green light from the Mexican government. We also have other news out there on the defense side. President Trump has ordered the Pentagon to develop plans for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria. Once again, we're not supposed to have troops in Syria, but we have troops in Syria for some reason, fighting to protect oil fields and oil reserves that other people are selling. But Trump has ordered the Pentagon to develop 3 plans. Draft plans to withdraw all U.S. troops within 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. We should be seeing some sort of announcement here in the future. Clearly, he wants to pull them out fast, but wants to do so safely and not to put any U.S. troops in jeopardy or any of the civilians over there. You know, what will be the impact there? This is a report from Sharon. Cullings we've had many cullings in Darke County, Ohio, and now we have a major fire. 33 departments responded to, from 3 different counties across 2 states, to a giant chicken farm in Darke County, Ohio. A big chunk of that million was from of cullings was actually from Ohio. And Darke County has had millions and millions culled in just the last 2 weeks. Now we have a major fire there. We don't have a count on how many chickens perished in the fire, but 33 fire departments responding should give you a little bit of an idea of how big of a facility we're talking. USAID was caught as people have gone through a lot of these grants that have been happening. That's one of the things that DOGE has done is given transparency. As they have accessed payment records, as they've accessed grants, they've been releasing a lot of the stuff on the internet for people like you or I to sift through and look for who these grants were going to. And also who's on the board of those nonprofits, who actually controls that money and who are they related to. Because we're seeing a lot of that money go overseas and then come right back to the United States to pay off politicians. It's been a slush fund for many, many years for politicians. But tens of millions of dollars in the last number of years have gone to a news organization called Politico. And you're probably familiar with them. But it wasn't just USAID giving tens of millions of dollars to Politico. Canada also has now been caught giving them over $1.6 million. This is supposed to be an independent news agency, but they're not independent at all. It turns out a large portion of their subscriber base isn't like actual people. It's governments have bought up so many subscriptions to Politico, which has inflated their numbers, and they just sold Politico for $1 billion to a German company who is looking at like, wow, you have lots of subscribers, you have all these people paying you money to read your news, you must be a really good news reporting agency. I'll put this out there. The government is not subscribing to this channel, so make sure you guys are. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you've been unsubscribed, hit it again, please. Appreciate that. That way, YouTube can still not send you these videos. I know. I appreciate all of you who actively find this channel because YouTube makes it so hard to find it. They hide it from our subscribers. They hide it from people who watch every single day, and yet YouTube still doesn't even suggest these videos to them. I've heard it all from you guys. I've heard it from my own parents who watch every single video of mine. They say that they don't even see it suggested to them. So that just kind of tells you that the games are being played out there. And games being played on the other side of things with organizations like Politico. This is from Monica. Waffle House is now having a surcharge of 50 cents per egg. I'm not the first to report on that, but a lot of you guys have shared that with us. We definitely want to mention that. We're seeing a lot of restaurants starting to think about or already adding a surcharge for eggs. This is, like I said, probably still going to get worse before it gets better. Wholesale prices are over $9 a dozen. So if you're seeing less than $9 a dozen out there, you're getting it cheaper than restaurants can get it right now. So the restaurants that are making bulk orders are getting it $9 a dozen. So if you see $4.50, if you see $5 a dozen, you're getting a bargain. Might want to scoop those up. Speaking of expensive eggs, this has caused some craziness and wackiness to happen out there. This is from Short Person, but a bunch of you guys did pass this along as well. In Greencastle, Pennsylvania, which is out in the west of the west of Pennsylvania, like out where I live, 100,000 eggs were stolen off a truck. That's $40,000 worth of eggs. Now that's what the news article said, but 40 cents an egg, that's a little low given what prices are right now. I would say that we're probably looking at more like 60, 70 cents an egg these days. So $60,000, $70,000 worth of eggs stolen from a truck. Things are getting absolutely insane, aren't they? Be Rich says, when freezing eggs, which is a good idea to do, please, people, break the yolk and stir a little first. If you don't, the yolk will be rubbery when it's thawed. When using, thaw, then use to bake with or scramble. Don't just throw them in the pan unless you have it like really, really low heat for like scrambled eggs or something. And what I did was I put some eggs in that were still with the yolk mostly intact. And then I also threw some in where I had scrambled them up and put them in there because I like scrambled eggs a lot. So I would just throw the scrambled eggs in there and all ready to go. I don't have to, add another step. So you might want to think about that, doing that too. So some scrambled, some non-scrambled. You can even separate them. That's not a bad idea too. If you want to freeze a bunch of whites, egg yolks in one bag, and then whites in another. Patty says, update, I went to King Soopers, which is Kroger, yesterday. This is down in southern Colorado. And saw a dozen eggs there for $10.96. That's $11 a dozen, friends. Almost $1 an egg. My husband made a comment about how expensive they are now. When the husbands that aren't even shopping are noticing, the price is up, right? PJ says, watch for markdowns on fresh meats and produce. The walk-in traffic has been cut by 80% at our local grocery store. The others have nearly disappeared and the fresh foods are sitting on the shelf. Brad says, Ag Day came out this morning, which is a major news place, about the cattlemen's big meeting. They were talking about there is now 500,000 less cattle in the feedlots right now. We've been warning you that the beef crisis is coming, friends, and even they are admitting now that there are 500,000 less cattle at the feedlots about to be slaughtered. Is that going to impact availability of beef? You had better believe it is. And that is less than was in the 70s. And as Brad says, you called it, Steve. Well, I have the distinct privilege of being able to get so much information from you guys and being able to focus in on the news every day. And so I do see a lot of these connections, but this is so much a win for the Watchman community out there. A bunch of you guys who had back doors and are actually in the ranching industry and the meat packing industries were the ones who really kind of tipped me off on that. Joan says, update, President Trump was saying that other countries refuse to buy our food. I wish I didn't have to buy it either. I bought dill pickles today, hard as rocks. I roasted chicken, tough and hard to slice. Sweet potato to bake. It took 3 times longer to get it done than usual. Grapes that tasted so full of chemicals, I'm returning them tomorrow. The only ice cream I saw that didn't have soybean oil was Breyers. Every one of them had soybean. Would someone tell me why ice cream needs soybean oil in it? Or why every company puts it in their salad dressings and mayonnaise as well? It's cheap. That's why. That's the answer. If you're wondering, that's the answer. It's cheap. And there's a whole bunch of chemicals that have been designed to coagulate it and make different textures. So it's also kind of like a very convenient, easy one if they're trying to synthesize some sort of flavor or thickness or something like that. All right. Would someone tell me also why they put in the mayonnaise? I just pray Robert Kennedy can put our food back to where it was in the good old days. Hopefully. Teresa says, Aurora, Colorado. If you could find eggs here, they are $7.50 a dozen. Hubby is a truck driver. We bought eggs in Wyoming for $2.50 a dozen. Well, not anymore. Wyoming is now out of eggs. Everybody was driving to Wyoming for eggs. Makes sense. Farm Girl says, Rome, Georgia, Floyd Medical Center hospital was overflowed with no beds when I took my mother for stroke symptoms. They held her for one night to observe and ran tests and said to follow up with her family doctor for the test result. They had turned the gyms and hallways into triage areas. So remember, that's in Georgia. I asked if they knew why there were so many sick people. They said they'd never seen this before. They didn't know what was going on. And then this is another one related to that. Highlander says in Kentucky and University of Kansas and Louisville hospitals, they're all booked up. A relative needs open heart surgery but cannot get a room. Several schools have closed due to teachers and students being sick with the flu as well. It looks like the flu is putting a lot of people in the hospital right now. So be aware of that. If you need treatment for something, you might want to call ahead to see what's going on. Be aware of what's going on in your neighborhood. But we're talking about Virginia, Kentucky, and Georgia. So I'm not sure what's going on in Tennessee just yet. If you are involved in the hospitals or anything like that, and you can give us an update on how bad the hospitals are in Tennessee, please let us know. Make sure you use the word update in your comment down below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there. I'd love to talk with you. Great folks over there. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.